Okay, folks, Friday, the 9th of June, 2023, a very quiet day on the horizon for today. And if we just go onto the economic calendar, you can see not much going on. There was a report here, 5 o'clock for the ags traders, as always. And then the CFTC commitment of traders report is coming out, and also the Baker Hughes. But this is a kind of very, very quiet Friday. And so, not expecting too much in terms of volatility, but I actually prefer these nice quiet days myself. So next week though, it's going to change completely in that we're going to be getting into German CPIs on Tuesday and US CPIs on Tuesday ahead of the FOMC, which then comes Wednesday evening. So we'll be live in Duggan Capital on the Discord for that one, trading these markets. But really what I wanted to do with this new format for the pre-US videos is to kind of, talk a little bit more about the news and what we're looking at for the week ahead and even the day ahead. And so really wanted to definitely talk about this on oil. So we kind of went from about 71.60s down to 69.20s in about 10 minutes last night. And why was that? Why did we have this flash crash on oil? Well, it was simply because a Middle Eastern news agency had published a story saying that the US was near to a deal with Iran on the sanctions that are on Iran from the US to kind of cap their uranium enrichment. And the thinking there and the impact on the market is that if they near a deal, then you're thinking about the sanctions being lifted, and that's going to be about 1 to 2 million barrels a day of Iranian oil back on the market. And so that's why you saw that flash crash down on oil. And in classic market kind of moves, that this was revoked, and the White House came out later and said that this was a false statement, and there was nothing like that on the table. And so, back up we went in oil, and a full round trip done. And so we're just kind of sitting there back where we started on oil at the moment. So this story is on Zero Hedge here, and well worth a read. So, but that's the way markets can be, and you're probably going to get blown out of positions, or else you're going to be thanking your lucky stars you were short that market at the time. I don't think too many would have been short on oil yesterday. So then, as we look over onto the markets here, we can see really. Let's see just what here we go on oil. We can look at that little crash there. So essentially, just take the hard time frame stuff off here. Yeah, essentially this is where it all began. In around this little spot here, the 71.50s, 60s, and then rocketing down to find support on this PVH or CVH 69.20s support, and then back she goes to that area. 71.40s, 50s on the pullback on the close. So really for me, buyer on the pullback into VWAP here, because I think this is absolute horseshit basically coming back here. And so we need to get back up into here. And so you see a bit of size waiting on the market just above for us to get in there. Quite a bit of size also on the 71.03s. Should we take a pullback? But I really don't think we need to. Because this story is just, total fluff. All right, so that's on oil. Looking across on equities, it was a pretty tricky spot for equities yesterday to call it. I still think that you need to be careful out here. We've been talking about the resistance that we should see on this upper little zone, 14,652s on the highs. And I think another assault here might bring the selling in again. So just be careful there. But net, I actually think equities are really strong at the moment, and I just don't know what could bring them down other than we get the next leg of the banking crisis, which of course will be the commercial real estate loan books for these regional banks turning toxic. Okay, and it'd be kind of like a mini version of the global financial crisis, except sort of, pigeonholed into more of a commercial real estate situation rather than a vastly wide and sweeping kind of all real estate crisis that we saw in the 0708 crash. So yeah, look, I don't want to talk too much about that. Probably not going to unfold for quite some time. It'll probably happen very slowly. But these markets, they want to go up, right? They want to go up. Here we are in the SPOOs again, looking really bullish as well here. Just a little bluff off on the top here would be quite nice. Very strong, very strong. We were looking at some levels on the P-Val here yesterday, the 4270s. I was banging on about this for quite a while yesterday, actually, for the boys. And about, we did know it was going to be messy. To be honest, I don't really know if any of the guys really did trade that much yesterday, given a lot of the sort of horseplay we saw in the market the prior day, really just wiping these ranges. And I was going to say the best trades would come at about half six, as late as half six. So we kind of look at that half six trade, that little reversal down onto the 4284s and then get long. Personally, I'm not looking at the markets at that time. But yeah, I think we're quite strong here, and I think we're going to bid over to close out the week, and then maybe we'll settle back down as we come towards CPIs and FOMCs. But I saw Jason on Twitter actually saying that it would be quite fitting that we bid all the way into the CPIs and the FOMC next week, and then as soon as inflation kind of starts really coming down, then the markets are going to come off. So there's lots of different narratives you can be listening to when you're trading in these markets. Gold has been wiping the floor with people, absolutely wiping the floor. Huge range. If I just show you here, look at the two-way action we've had over the last 2 days of trade here. Just incredible selling here on Wednesday. Down she goes to find the yearly PVAH. Then bars back up lifting. So generally, what's happening around this YPVAH is just really strong buying, and generally people wanting to get long, and I can see why. And we're just not really that far away from the 2,000 handle here, guys. So maybe the swingers are in there. I've seen some. I'm not even going to quote the prices some of the swingers are looking at on this thing, but they're way above 2,000 for the medium term hold for gold traders right now. So if we look at that here on the daily, the daily's a little bit too small. But so if we go kind of here and look on the weekly bars, kind of see where we are. We're kind of really in this range that we've been in for about 3 years now, really. With this little slip out there last year to the downside, but we're back in, and these upper targets are really kind of indicative of the bull flag that we're in here. See the bull flag that we're in here and here. So I think the gold traders will have their day on this one. I just won't be one of them. All right, what else do we have to look at here? Not much. Just really the main thing for me. Well, we did talk a bit about Bitcoin recently. Just a little look-see. Here we are. We've been monitoring this line in the sand for years now. Years, like 4 years. I've had the same analysis on this chart. 4 years, right? I knew we were going to pop back up here. I didn't know what was going to happen then. There would be attempts to hold the line on the lows. They failed. We're now holding the line at the highs. So I think we could potentially rotate back down here. Selling off at 27,600 and then down to 22,200 area. Just got 22,000. So, I'm not a fan of crypto at the moment. It's had every opportunity. It's had every opportunity to go to the moon. Banking crisis, inflation, COVID, UFOs being hoarded by the US government. You name it, we've had it all, and I think we're about to have the alien announcement any day soon now, given these new reports out from the Air Force whistleblowers. That is another conversation, and we'll leave it there. All right, listen, a quiet day. Enjoy the rest of the session. I like longs on gold today. Take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.